Will be on Ronald Acuna Jr., who's batting first again for the Braves. He's homered in 5 straight games. 8 total homers in that stretch. He's led off 3 consecutive games with a homer. And the man standing in the way is hard-throwing Jose Urena, who gets very little run support. And, fellas, has lost 12 of his 15 decisions on the year.
And he's really struggled against the Braves. One thing you need to take note of for Urena, he's hit 10 batters. He pitches inside a lot. His fastball is a sinker, and it runs in a lot. So if Acuna is going to keep that streak going, he's going to have to battle that, and we'll see what happens in the first inning tonight.
Acuna's hit 12 homers, 24 RBIs, and 25 runs scored leading off. And he got smoked on the very first pitch. Chad Fairchild right out in front of the plate. Acuna tosses the helmet down, and now in a crouch on the third base line. The very first pitch of the game nails Ronald Acuna Jr. And now the Braves are coming out of their dugout looking at Urena. And now both benches are going to empty.
Brian Snitker's leading the charge.
I don't blame Snip for being mad right here. And I'll tell you what, if the umpire, Chad Fairchild, he should be tossed right here, Joe.
Absolutely, he should. Absolutely, he should. Meanwhile, Acuna is being tended to on the first, right there. Both sides were concerned about this before it happened. Both sides. Marlins, too. Unnecessary. Trying to make a statement, you don't have to do that.
Well, I'll tell you what right now, if he's not tossed, Chad Fairchild better let us do what we can do too, Joe. I'll tell you that. Because JT Realmuto might as well put a body armor up next time.
I'm concerned that Acuna is still on his backside sitting inside the third base line. He has been in that spot while this scrum took place on the mound. The very first pitch of this ball game hits Acuna flush, and let's see where.
Right on the elbow.
Yep.
Just above it. That wasn't a pitch inside. That wasn't a fastball that ran inside. That was aimed.
That's chicken you know what right there.
And Acuna still hasn't gotten up.
Well, Urena threw his glove down like he was ready for all comers.
If he has to come out of this game because of this pitch, Urena should face an unbelievable suspension.
I've never seen Brian Snitker so mad.
This is as bad as it gets. You've got a rising young star that you're trying to send a message to, and all Acuna is trying to do is do his job, and he gets hit. Absolutely brutal.
George is motioning to the dugout for something.
And Acuna just flipped his arm pad onto the mound right at the feet of Urena. And Snitker is still hollering at Urena. Walt Weiss is out there too. Now the Marlins are coming back out.
I don't blame. I'll tell you what right now. There's EY. Hey, I'll tell you what, guys, this is your young superstar right here.
Yeah.
It's like in hockey, when you got your stud, you got guys around him that are going to protect him, and I like to see this. I don't blame Snit.
It was intentional.
I'll tell you what, it's the first time in 2 years that I wish I was in uniform tonight.
Well, remember a few years ago in Bryce Harper's rookie year, he got hit. I think it was Cole Hamels that nailed him. trying to send a message, and it was universally decried as a ridiculous move. What in the world is Urena, and what are the Marlins trying to prove in this situation with Ronald Acuna Jr.?
And Joe, I think with Snit, I don't think Snit would have been going as crazy if they would have tossed him right away. I think that's his thing, is once that's Chad Fairchild and the rest of the guys, how is he not thrown out?
Paul Nauert is crew chief. Eric Young there in the helmet.
Bryant, I think, got tossed by Paul Nauert.
Shoved Anderson.
And again, we won't know till after the game. We may never know. My question is, where does this come from? Where did this come from? Whose idea was this? And who thought this was the smart thing to do? And now the 4 umpires are meeting in the center of the diamond. The first pitch of the game drills Acuna. He's standing at first base. And for the moment, Urena is still in the game. And you know the Braves are going to want to take their shot at some point, either tonight or when they go down to Miami. And to your point, Jeff, if there's a warning issue and Gossman hits somebody,
if he's not tossed right here, then there should not be a warning said right here.
If he's not tossed right here, this is not over.
No, it's not. But you know what?
It's going to be more. And they just threw him out. And the warning issued.
Yep.
I don't think they threw Urena out.
They threw somebody out. They thought he pointed at him.
I think they did. I think they threw Urena out of the game. And because the umpires know exactly what could take place here, Urena's been thrown out of the game and warnings have been issued.
Joe, you know what I bet when they got together is exactly what you said. If we don't throw him out right now, we can't issue a warning. And if we can't issue a warning, this thing's going to get out of hand next inning.
Yep. It won't be the last time everybody's on the field. Chad Fairchild throws him out. Warnings to each side. And Don Mattingly out pleading his case, but it's a tough one to plead.
And again, whose idea was that? Now Acuna is walking off the field from his spot on first base. The Marlins will have to bring in a relief pitcher who I assume will have as much time as he needs to get ready.
Well, Ronald can get some treatment while all that's going on.
So Urena throws one pitch. It drills Acuna on the forearm or elbow. We're not sure exactly where, and was thrown out of the game. And then warnings were issued so that the nonsense can stop and we can get back to playing baseball.
Joe, you've played a long time. I'm just curious why we heard this before the game, why it's even a story. Because I'll say this, Ronald has not done anything crazy to pimp a home run, to flip his bat big time. You know, I mean, he's done a little bit, but who doesn't?
No, it's not even that, Jeff. It's just that it's almost like Urena took it upon himself to take care of business on the very first pitch.
Who made him the cop?
Yeah. And like I said, this was a concern on in both clubhouses today, was what was Urena going to do in the first inning.
And I just think, you know what, that's, like I said, there's times to do stuff. That's just, to me, all that is, you know what, you've got your tail whipped for 3 straight games. Come out and beat somebody. Don't do it that way.
Make a better pitch.
Well, and again, we're talking about a guy that is having one of the most remarkable weeks in the history of the game for his age, and is the talk of baseball, and for a sport that's trying to market itself and showcase its young stars. If Ronald Acuna Jr. gets seriously hurt on a pitch like that, that is terrible for the Braves, quite obviously, and it's just as bad, if not worse, for the rest of the game.
Bad for baseball.
I'll tell you what,
and I'll be surprised if there's not, like you said, Jeff, I'll be really surprised if there's not a suspension that follows this. It was so obvious.
There should be. I'll be even more mad if Urena even tries to say that he didn't do it on purpose. Like, come on, pal.
Well, his out card, as Joe said, is 10 hit by pitches, but that wasn't.
Everybody knows. I'd rather have him come out of this point and say I did it.
Wow.
But that's.
Well, it puts the Marlins in a gigantic bind. They've had to use their whole pitching staff this entire series, and now Urena is tossed from the game after throwing one pitch. Nobody has come out of the Miami bullpen as of yet to take over on the mound.
Well, whoever comes in ought to be loose. They ran in from the bullpen twice. They should be loose.
At least their hamstrings will be.
Yeah.
We don't know about their arms or not. So that's the young man getting ready. Hernandez looks like he'll be the man on in relief. As we've said, if you miss a pitch of Braves baseball, you miss a lot. And today's game, no exception against the Marlins.